Hello everyone. Today we'll make a beautiful watercolor painting. But before starting with the painting, we'll mark these areas like this, the margins, using the ruler. I'm taking 1 centimeter for the border. After this, we'll mask the paper and then start with the sketch. Now let's start with the sketch. Take your masking tape and make the circle over here for the guideline. And next, make a horizontal line over here like this. And make a straight line over here. Draw the slant portion like this. Add a curve. Do the same thing on the other side as well. Now I'll add some details on this area by making these lines over here. For making the cat, we'll start with the oval over here. We'll simplify the shapes and then we'll add details. First I add the oval, then I add its ears. Next I'll proceed with its body like this. Just follow me as I'm sketching, and that's it. It's a very easy part. It's not very tough, but you need to be a little careful. We are not adding all the details, but making just the silhouette of the cat. Now sketch the container that contains all the brushes, like this. Next, make the moon a little bigger, but also make sure that you follow the line, the circle that we made prior to this. Make sure that there is equal distance in between those lines on all the sides, and the circle is a perfect circle. Once you are done with the circle, erase the inner line over here. Now let's start with the painting part. Take a big brush and paint the sky portion, that is the area around the moon and the land. Be very careful, you do not want the water to be over the moon, otherwise it will spoil our white bright moon with the black color or the crimson color that we will be adding in the background. Once you are done adding water in the background, start with crimson and blue color. In watercolors, we always start with lighter tones. So we'll start with crimson and blue as they are the lightest tones or the lightest colors that are present in the sky or the background in this case. And as we move ahead, we'll take more saturated amount of these colors. And we'll move to our final color that will redefine all the other colors that are present in the background, and that is Payne's Gray. I add crimson color here and there around the moon, and now I'm adding blue color here. This is camlin blue that I'm using, but you can use a similar blue. Make sure you're not coloring these jars. In case you stumble upon them, just use a tissue and wipe them off. Now once you are done with this, I'm going to remove this thing over here that I used to elevate the paper at an angle, and now I'll add paint on the surface here. Because we are painting a galaxy or a sky portion that is very flowy, we do not want the water or all the paint to go down. We want them to flow on its own, on its will. So that is why I removed the elevation, but otherwise you will require this. Now I'm painting around the moon like this, making a circle. Just follow me as I'm painting it, because this needs a little bit of attention. that you're increasing the amount of color in your mixture. You're not increasing the amount of water but the amount of color, because as I told earlier, we'll go from light to dark tones, and dark tones require a more saturated amount of paint, and that will also help us in making bright painting. Otherwise the color will dull out. Next, paint the moon. I'm taking yellow ochre color and I'll apply some circles over here like this. This is a very light tone, and now I'm using a very watery amount of this color over here. Don't worry about the shape of the moon, we'll fix it with white gouache. Once the moon is completely dry, add more circles over here using the ochre color. Also make sure that you're painting the moon once your surface, your background is completely dry. Otherwise, it is very likely that your background will flow into the moon, creating a lot of trouble for you. And also make sure you have elevated the angle at this stage. Next, I'm mixing a little bit of orange in it and making it darker, these areas like this. After this step, we'll start picking up the color from here, leaving faint spots on the moon as it is present naturally. I'm using a tissue for this process. Now we'll wait for the moon to dry, and in the meantime we'll cover this area. Again, I'm using paint spray. Just flatly cover up this area using this color. this container, apply dark color over here, and then using water spread it towards the other areas of the jar, making a light and shadow effect here. I'm using ochre color for this jar. For this jar, I'm using burnt sienna. Next, using the paint spray, add some leaflets over here. Next, using white gouache, add highlights on the cat over here, like this. And here, we'll add highlights on the jars of paint brushes as well, on the land where it's sitting, fix the shape of the moon, and add some details here and there to make the painting interesting. I'm adding gouache, creating some design on the moon over here to make it look more natural. Make sure after making those lines, you're blurring it up as well. Some final highlights on the brushes as well over here. And that's it. We are done with our picture. Remove the masking tape and you're good to go.